So we are on the couch tonight and trying to not talk too loud because there's a baby sleeping in the background.
Not our baby, just a random baby that just showed up one day.
God, where'd you get that baby? What are we gonna talk about today?
And it's up to you. You're the one who you just woke me up and said sit on the couch. I got something to discuss. Are we getting divorced?
You
Are we getting a baby?
You could only wish.
We're talking about finances.
Finances.
Well, not just any finances. The way you think about finances after the arrival of a baby, whether it's yours or not. In this case, it is ours.
Finances and babies, how do those
but
things?
Specifically more like the way your thinking goes behind it, because there's a lot of things that obviously change financially when you have a baby. You have more expenses, and that's just kind of self-explanatory. Of course, you're gonna have to start buying diapers, more food, clothes for a baby, but the things that you can't really prepare for are the way you think about money, and that will vary from person to person because every baby has diapers, every baby needs to eat food, but the way you handle it, the way you think about it, that's what's different for each person. And we've actually never really talked about how we think about money.
I know, exactly.
For 7 months, so this should be
So
interesting.
we're just winging it. So maybe we could start first about how we actually prepared for having a baby.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Like, even back from the very beginning, we already knew that we wanted a baby, right? Early on in our relationship, that's like one of the main goals, is to have a baby. And so knowing that, we have really started preparing even indirectly early on, right? We're like saving as much money as we can.
Yeah.
Because we have a future that we're, thinking about.
And before you have a baby, you have no idea what it really takes financially, or just...
We just know that it's going to be expensive because that's what everyone says.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like the money aspect of it hasn't been the hardest part by far. It's the mental toughness of just functioning without any sleep at all.
Exactly. Oh my God, those first 3 months. Yeah, so even years before we had a baby, we are already building an emergency fund. A nest egg. An emergency fund / child fund, future fund, really, because we know that we're going to have to spend a lot of money to prepare and while having a baby.
And obviously, we're not going to be both working at some point, or if we were both working, there's going to be somebody who's going to have to take care of him. So it's either way, not knowing what the future held, there's going to be some kind of a financial, hit to you, whether you're spending money on somebody else watching your kid or you're just not working. So either way, you're not going to be having as much money coming in, so you have to prepare in advance for
those
it.
During the early years of having a baby, especially. So we didn't really have a figure in mind. We just want to build as big of a savings as we could, pretty much, because we like to play we like to play it safe that way. We're not risk takers at all. We're not a fan of just winging it, like what we're doing with this.
Well, I have a list.
Okay, so it's just me then. So yeah, that's how we prepared for years before, just saving as much money as we could. And a factor is also mentally preparing yourself and thinking how we're going to manage it, because we know that we're going to have to either pay for childcare, or one of us, most likely me, is going to have to take care of the baby while the baby's not going to school yet, or while we can't send the baby to daycare yet for some reason.
So I actually made a list of 3 things as I asked you to do. So I got a list of 3 things. The way that just your mindset has changed about money. So I'll share something first.
Okay.
You can pretend to listen to me while you think of a list of 3 things for yourself.
Why does it have to be 3? I'll just.
3 is a good strong number.
Oh my God! It's not even.
It's even. Okay, then have 4. Three,
Okay.
I think three, because 3 and 3, that's 6, that's even. Okay, so I'm gonna use my cheat sheet. So one thing that I think has really changed is that I don't think about money nearly as much, but at the same point, that's all I think about. If that makes any
Uh-huh.
sense,
Yeah.
where it's not like, I don't know, this is kind of grim, the best way I can put it. It's like when somebody close to you dies and you think about them all the time, but eventually you don't think about them all the time anymore, but you still think about them regularly, if that makes any sense to you.
I know exactly what you mean
Yeah,
because
like
yeah.
when somebody close to you dies, you're constantly thinking about it. It's more of a grieving, but then you get to a point where you think about them, they always pop up in your head. So I think that's kind of how I think about money now, where I'm not always thinking like, oh, how are our investments doing? Oh, do we have enough in savings? But at the same point, I'm always kind of thinking, I wonder what we would do in this situation. So I guess I don't know. I don't even know how to label it, but it's a weird thing. I used to constantly think about like, oh, how are we doing things right? What could we do
Yeah.
better? But now a day can go by and it won't even cross my mind, but it will kind of like click in my head. Okay, that's what's going on. It's just more passive, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing to me because, before we had a baby, like growing our money is one of our, favorite things to monitor, right? Because like that's one of our main goals because we want to grow our money so that we'll be able to do things just like taking care of a baby. But like right now that we have Tommy, that we have our baby, it's like he's the priority, right?
Yeah.
Like other things are other goals that we are working on or are planning to do, they're in the back burner. So the thing that we're very focused on is like how to support our baby, how to take care of our baby, how to do good,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think we've gone
for our
from
baby.
tracking how our investments are doing to tracking how many poops have happened in a day, like quite literally.
Yeah,
And that's
like
really
what
like
he's eating, how
the
many mLs he's
and
eating.
I mean it's to simplify it really comes to your priorities change. Yes, you still care about how you're doing financially, but it's not the most important thing anymore.
Yeah, but at the same time,
It is
it's in the
very
back of
important.
our head because in order to do what we want, which is to do good for our baby, we need money because practically speaking, you just need money for everything, especially taking care of a child. So yeah, it's not like in the foreground, but it's always in the background of our
You
minds.
can't say to a
Yeah.
crying baby, I'll deal with this later, but with an overdue bill or something like that, you can say, I'll deal with this later.
Yeah.
What's something that you've thought about differently with money?
That's the first thing that comes to mind that before when it comes to spending, I always, hesitate about buying stuff, because I don't like spending. I'm a frugal person. So, but, I always have to think about it. If I really need that stuff, can I do without it? Is it just a frivolous want? But right now with a baby, like if he needs that, okay, let's just get it. Like, maybe it's because I don't know, maybe I'm just hard on myself that I can like
I think
spend
that's
on
true. I
stuff.
think that's true.
I can spend on stuff easily on myself, but for Tommy, like, okay, we need that. Let's just get it. You know, we're not getting a $1,500 bassinet like
Yeah.
this new. That's ridiculous. But other still expensive stuff, we got it because we know that it's quality and it's gonna help us take care of the baby, hopefully based on reviews, because we are first time parents, we're not we're not sure if anything is gonna work for the baby. We're just
We're just
hoping
winging
for
it.
the best. So if the reviews said that they're good, and even if they're kind of expensive, we're gonna pay for that. Yeah.
So whenever you buy something for a baby, type in that name of that product plus Rotten Tomatoes, and you'll get the audience and the critic score, and you kind of like balance it
Oh
out
my
to see
god.
what if that's
Yeah.
like the right
It's
thing.
so annoying because they're like fake reviews these days,
Yeah.
but like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that.
I guess this kind of goes with yours, but it's the desire for wants just isn't there compared to the needs. I think there's like there's nothing, even like just like a small thing, like a food that like I'm like, I really would like that. That would be nice, but it's like, it's gone up $2. It's gone up $2 in the last 2 years. I think I can go without this. I think
Exactly.
you kind of relate more. What do I actually need compared to what do I want?
Yeah, we've already done that in some way before because, we are frugal people. I'm going to keep on repeating that because that's just a fact. But the intensity of it has gone up since we've had a
Yeah,
baby.
definitely.
Like, if we really need something, that's, the only time that we'll buy it. Unless it's a really, really, really good thing that we love.
Like what?
I didn't spend anything the last month, January, because I'm just like, I don't want to spend anything. But I can't even think about any specific thing now.
But so there's nothing sitting in like the cart somewhere.
But there are a lot of
you even
things
had
in
a
the
gift.
cart.
You even had gift cards that I gave you
I
for Christmas that you
know.
didn't even use.
Exactly. So, yeah, there's a lot of things in the cart, but I don't really, 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 really love them. The needs always come first because, like, you just don't know what, what you're going to need it for, what emergency is going to come.
I think specifically with a baby is that the wants, you don't even have time for so many of the things you don't. So I think wants are less material items and more the need for extra time is so much greater than the need for any material item. So just to get like an hour of free time to do something, even if it's something you don't want to do, but something you need to do, is just so much more rewarding than some stupid material item that just gets placed on a shelf and does nothing.
I'm willing to pay, like, now for anything that would make our lives more convenient and would allow us either peace of mind or more time. That's just like what we need right now.
What was that first thing? Peace of mind. Never
mind.
heard of that. Never.
Like, for example, a baby monitor. Like, who knew a good baby monitor is hundreds of dollars? But, for the peace of mind, we bought it.
Was
like
it
that.
hundreds of dollars? I thought it was.
It was almost 200.
Oh, okay, that's hundreds. So
Just
it's almost.
the look the look of shock in your face.
No, hundreds would be 200 or more.
So you had almost a heart attack.
I'm confused. I'm like, hundreds. I thought it was like that. I thought it cost about that much.
Oh my
Hundreds.
God. The look you gave me.
Hundreds. Like 11,000 is still hundreds. It's 110 hundreds.
Ridiculous. And who knew baby clothes could be so expensive? Like the sleep sack, one sleep sack that has the buttons, it provides convenience. Because, like, who would want to force a baby to put his arms through a hole if he's like crying and just want
How
to
much
sleep?
was that?
It's $30 for one.
Yeah.
That's pretty expensive for a little piece of clothing.
But the good thing about that is it gets used so often. So, as opposed to like some of the clothes that he wears it twice and then he outgrows it.
For me, that's expensive for a baby's, clothing, but the convenience that it gives me to not wrestle with the arms of a flailing baby, I'd pay for that.
You don't want to wrestle with a baby that's just wiggling, because if you lose, that's just embarrassing. Who wants to lose to a baby? So my third point is I think since having a baby, I have like a better picture of like the long game of financial, and I'm like fine with that. Whereas in the past, if say we didn't earn enough money, we didn't save enough money one month, it kind of felt like a loss. But now it's kind of like in the circumstances we're in, it's like, so what? There's time, okay? It's not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So just as long as you're doing good things now, and you're not really setting yourself up for future failures or present failures, that's what's so much more valuable. Like you can take a few losses as long as you're doing other things in your life, because I mean, what are you gonna regret more? Not earning quite as much money, or not spending time with your child, like when they're so young. Like,
I know.
like you could easily go out there and get like a job or something, but like that's not, I think, what's the most important.
Yeah, money is not really the end goal. It's a means, it's a vehicle for you to do things that you love, like spending time with your baby, with your family. I totally agree. I haven't even, you've probably monitored our, our finances more than I have. Like I didn't even bother to look at our investments and how much it's grown, or if it's even grown. Like I'm not really, I don't care as much about those stuff anymore. Not right now.
It's not gonna make a
Because
difference.
you're just so busy with a baby. Like time just zooms when you have a child.
I actually watched this thing the other day about how there's crazy guys trying to justify where all like missing people go, and the conclusion they came up with is that there's a bunch of like random portals in national parks. But now I'm convinced that rocking him during a nap, we're rocking in and out of a portal where time just slows down, because some days when you're just in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, not so much anymore, he sleeps better, but when it was just like, you'd feed him, he'd fall asleep in your arms, you'd have to hold him while he's asleep so he doesn't go down too early. That just felt like just forever. That just 2 hours felt like a week sometimes.
I know.
You could be doing the most you could be watching the most I watched so many things I really enjoyed, but it just like dragged on sometimes.
Yeah, and you have to stay awake because you can't fall asleep in a rocking chair while holding a baby. Like, my God, that's a disaster. But thankfully, please God, let it be the end of that one. It ended like months ago. He's been sleeping much, much better these days. But like, yeah.
Until I show.
Oh my God, I'm gonna freaking you if you wake the baby up. Yep, I really will. I also want to touch about like not just how our way of thinking about money changes when we have a baby, now that we have a baby, but also like what are the aspects of, taking care of a baby that cost less financially that you haven't really anticipated.
That's funny you asked, because I was actually thinking that would be like a good topic.
Yeah.
And the two things that are very obvious is I didn't realize how much food cost, and I thought diapers cost a lot more.
Yeah.
Because
I know, I'm the same.
Because I remember somebody I worked with complained that he wasn't getting his paycheck on time, and he said something like, I gotta get diapers. Whereas I'm thinking like, was he feeding this kid?
If you're planning to breastfeed your kid, then sure, you won't have to buy formula and you'd be able to save money that way. But if you can't breastfeed for some reason, or you just choose not to breastfeed, then formula is really expensive. Like, holy cow, I didn't anticipate it being as expensive as it is, but I think it's in recent years because of the formula shortage. That's why the price is really hiked up. And it also sucks because, like, fortunately for us, Tommy was able to, he reacted really well to the formula that we started them in. So we didn't have to change multiple times. Whereas other parents, you don't get so lucky because the formula that you started him in, he might be intolerant to that or have an allergy to that, and you have to like change to an even more expensive formula, to a hypoallergenic formula. That really sucks. But yeah, I haven't really anticipated how much food formula costs.
Yeah, okay.
But no, I have a tip. If you get a membership to Costco or other, wholesale clubs, their formula really is just as good. And, if your baby will take it, then it's a lifesaver. It's like half the costs of name brand formulas. So check them out.
That's your pitch for a Costco membership. And while you're at it, get one of their $4.99 chickens.
Oh, that's really good too. That's a good deal. But
just don't mix them up though. Like, don't be drinking the formula and giving your newborn baby a drumstick.
Well, he can eat chicken now.
Now he can, but like when he's younger. Yeah. Is there anything else that you were surprised by, like how much something costs for a baby?
Yeah, the clothes really, like it's such a rip off. Like, it's such a tiny piece of clothing, but they make it so expensive, especially the if it's a name brand, famous brands. It's like $30 for a single piece of sleeper pajamas, that what he wears to sleep. Would you pay $30 for just one of
He
that?
He doesn't have $30 ones.
No, not that one, but like
golden crested.
It could be $30 for a small piece of clothing. Like, holy cow! Like, I'm not buying that.
What
I'm
brand?
sure there's other.
Okay, what brand are you gonna get in trouble for naming a brand?
I think.
What does it rhyme with?
Kite Baby.
Kite Baby?
Kite Baby, Kyte Baby.
Oh,
That's really expensive. Yeah, like, sure, it looks great. It's bamboo pajamas, but $30 for a single pajama, like, holy, nope.
Maybe it's for ugly babies.
I love Tommy. I want to give him, quality stuff. But come on, that's a ripoff.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's gonna know anyway. Like,
maybe we're just cheap.
I don't know. I think a lot of his clothes that he gets are like,
they're nice.
They range from like $5 to $10 a piece, probably. Just like it's expensive for like a little thing, but I mean, you have no choice.
Yeah, but not $30 a piece. Come on,
no.
We're not rich.
No.
How about you? Is there anything
else that, I mean, you do most of the spending.
Excuse me.
I think it's not so much how much things cost, but how much like little things that you need, but also, I mean, a lot of the things that we have also could fall outside of the need range, but they're also very helpful at the same point. We don't really buy, like, baby books tend to be a bit expensive for like 6 pages. Not that we really buy him that many books, but I mean,
yeah, it is what it is.
But I mean, again, like, it's one of those things that you use constantly, multiple times. I mean, we read the same 12, 15 books in rotation.
Yeah, and a lot of these things, you don't really have to buy them brand new. Like, if you go, because babies, they grow out of these stuff so much, so frequently, so fast, that there are buy nothing groups in Facebook in your community that you can check out. A lot of parents are happily giving away stuff from the baby stuff, baby clothes, toys, books, because that's just gonna pile up if you don't get rid of them, and you could get them for free there. If
we got some good stuff.
We got a couple stuff.
His bath.
And that we use every day.
What's something else good we got there?
Clothes.
Yeah.
All his blanket swaddles we got there.
Yeah, that's right.
It was really good. Yeah. So, yeah, check them out. It's one way to save on money.
Remember swaddling a newborn?
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like, it just like messes with my mind, like the origami.
That didn't last long for Tommy. No. He just like broke
free out.
From it. Yeah.
One more.
Poking out of the swaddle, no matter how tight you make it. Well, there's one thing that we need to do, which is this is grim, but we need to make a will. We have to set up the future for Tommy. So that's definitely one thing that we have to take care of that we haven't yet.
I mean, he's also our blood relative, so like it naturally would just go to him.
Still, you want to arrange things so your son is best protected as much as he could be. And yeah, saving for his future, for when he wants to go to college or whatever else he would need the money for. We have started doing that. We created an investment account for him, which is one of the things we've already, just planned ahead of time.
Or when we're able to add to it, after we add to our own investments. But like, it's just one more thing that we kind of can contribute money into. And I mean, there's also so many different 529s for education, but we're not doing that, at least not yet, just because, I mean, that's more beneficial for like tax break reasons, which, I mean, we don't even know what our financial situation will be like where we'll need that. And I think it probably would have been a much greater gift for me when I turned 18 to get a bunch of money than to say, hey, here's a semester of college paid for. So
because who knows if he'd even want to go to college, when the time comes.
Or he'll get a full ride because he's so smart and athletic.
What do you think is what is the category that we have spent the most on? It's really food, right, for a baby so far during the past 7 months?
Maybe, but there could be like, if something, I like the crib and then the dresser, like those types of things that were like a one-time buy.
But those are one-time buy,
Yeah. Other than the constant ones, it would be.
We could like quickly check right now, like how much we've spent already in.
That's just on baby though. We don't have it divided.
I have the formula divided.
Oh, you have the formula divided.
Let me see. So for last year, for formula, it is $1,324. But the other stuff is $6,325. So it's still.
Why do we spend $6,000?
I don't know. I'm afraid to even look at.
Did we put the mortgage?
Hospital stuff like, during the delivery, payment to the hospital, doctor's fees. It's all in the baby.
Oh, that room service I got when you were out.
Don't panic too much. We spent $6,000.
We barely paid more for our car.
Seriously, let me go to the essentials, see what it's about. Car seat and stuff. They've been expensive too.
Paid for the hospitals.
Actually, the hospital's not even here. Wow. The hospital's not even here. Just all the other stuff that we bought for Tommy. Jeez. I know it's expensive, right? That's just last year. Everything that we've bought, like everything, like from the littlest stuff, like a binky to the convertible crib to the car seat, stroller, everything, $6,325, including the diapers too. Diapers are there. So.
Okay. And so that's
everything. Aquaphor. But for the first year alone.
I mean, were the models expensive? That's not even a first year. That's just like half a year.
It's half a year, but like so far this year, we've spent $160.
But there's no big expense.
That's why. So hold your horses.
I can't afford a horse.
You're saying I'm not thinking of money too much for the $6,000.
I need to start thinking about money more. I think that's the problem. These things are sneak attacking me.
I know. Yeah, the first years, the first 6 months of his life and preparation too, we've spent $6,325.
I was gonna say probably half of that.
And for the formula is $1,324. So
$1,324. Okay, so he's not quite. Like his food isn't quite as much as we spend on ourselves.
But we haven't, spent as much on formula the same rate at all by far, because he's consuming less because he's starting solids now. And also we're paying the wholesale club Costco brand now, so he's really save a lot of money on that. We weren't able to start it before because the availability of it sucks. That's one thing too that's bad about Costco formula, because it's not always available. So
Good thing is you can get it delivered. So you don't have to go deal with their parking lot, which is such a universal thing, because no matter what Costco you go to in the country, the parking lot has one entrance, one exit, and they're like this. They all, every single one. It's terrible, terrible parking lots.
I agree
That's
with
just
you.
everyone I've seen been to. It's just terrible.
They really have good deals on
Chicken,
muffins and chicken.
which we don't get anymore though.
Yeah.
'Cause our needs have changed since having a baby.
Any final thoughts?
A lot's gonna change when you have a baby, but the one thing you can actually have some control over is the finances.
Exactly. It's the one thing that you can absolutely prepare for, even years before you're planning to start a baby. If that's something that you're planning for your future, definitely
And you
save.
you can change at
Yeah.
any point. So like, you can just cut it out. Like if you're overspending somewhere, I mean, it's you're never gonna get back the time to spend with your baby, or other things that just become more important. So like the money aspect of it is something that you can change. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just little things that you can change. Any set of goals, just any little improvement that you can make, it can really help out.
For sure.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe.
If you have any comments, suggestions, thoughts, whatever you have for us, please leave it down in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.